Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I have something a little bit different for you. We are going to make some backgrounds, and I think I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago that we might do a little series on this. If you like this video and you think doing a background series is a good idea, let me know in the comments down below. So today we're going to make a kind of like a collage background. So this was really cool. I went to a Bible journaling conference back in June, and they had us do these pages, something like this, but with washi tape. And when I got home, I was like, you know, this would be really great to do as with scrap paper. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to create one of these with scrap paper. I made my paper 8 inches by 10 inches so that I could get 4 cards out of it at 4 by 5 inches. So today I'm going to be using some of the paper from my new kit on Etsy. The link will be in the description down below. I am in love with these papers and just thought that they would make a really cool background. So I am using some junk and scrap paper, but these are from that kit. So you can use printed paper like this. You can use book pages like this. This is some scrap coffee dyed paper that I had. This is some scrapbooking paper that I have left over. This is a piece out of a Town and Country magazine, and this is a piece out of a car magazine. Okay, so again, you can use just about anything any type of paper that you have laying around the house. You can grab out that scrap barrel and use those things. So we want our paper cut into strips, and we want them kind of cut in different size strips. So I am going to start with these, and I'm going to cut off this white edge, and then I'm just going to well, I gotta figure out what my orient. I think I need my other cutter, because I need to be able to cut this whole width of my paper here. All right, so I'm going to take off this white edge first, and then I'm going to just cut a couple of strips out of it in varying lengths. I may only go through one set of these papers. I'm not really sure. So we'll just have to see what happens. So just kind of think about like the different size washi tapes you have, and then kind of cut accordingly. That's way too small. I also made one of these pages for a junk journal that I just finished. It was a birthday junk journal, which I have a look through coming up in a couple of weeks. I've got to do some editing on it, and then it will be posted. But it was really cool because I took the different paper that I was using in her journal, and I made one of these collage pages. And some of the paper was like wrapping paper from her gifts and different things like that. So it turned out really nice and fun. Just kind of fun to have all those different pages on one side. I thought this was such a great way to decorate the background of your page. So we created a whole Bible page using this method. And like I said, I created a junk journal page, but what we're going to do today is more of a, you could use them for journaling cards in a journal or in your Bible, which is what we'll be using ours for next week. And then, or you can use them for, say, a card to friends, if you wanted to write a thank you card or something like that. These would make a really cool background for you to place your sentiment on the front of your card. And Oh, I had another idea and it just like flew right out of my head. Let's cut one more piece here. Maybe we'll use the other side of, well, I didn't get very much of that. Let's just do one more. Oops. There, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just gonna lay them all out and glue them all down, and then we're gonna put some gesso over the top of them just to make sure that they stay down really, really, really good. Okay, so here's my page. I want my papers to go this way in length. It does not matter if they go over the top or on the edge. We can cut around all of that later. So I'm just gonna kind of mix them up here a little bit so that I'm not getting all the same papers or all the same sizes or anything like that. You can use regular glue and glue each strip down. I think I'm going to use some purple glue stick because I think it'll be faster. And since we're putting gesso over the top of it, these pages are so stuck together. Since we're putting gesso over the top of it, I think it'll be all right. We didn't have to glue down the washi tapes. You know, washi tape's already sticky, so that made that part a little bit easier. So when I made it for the journal with the wrapping paper and the scrapbooking paper and stuff like that, goodness. I love this paint paper. It makes me so happy. So this is from the Strawberry Summer Kit. Yeah, Strawberry Summer Kit on Etsy. So if you want to check that out, you can. All right, so I'm just going to take this purple glue stick here and just run it down here. I'm going to wind up with a little bit of glue on my thing, but that's okay. Oh, that's fine. This page is big enough. Okay, and then you just kind of keep gluing from there. Don't stress about it. Just kind of get it down. This is one of those projects that is kind of a little freeing for you because you just kind of have to go with the flow. One's a little short too, but that's okay. And then we'll do some of these green polka dots, I think. They can overlap a little bit if you want. See how much easier that is? Well, yeah, I like the purple glue stick idea. Just go straight down and then grab a piece and put it on there. So now we have all of our pieces down, and I'm going to cut across here later because I messed up right here, but that's okay. And then you can use those extras for something as well, which is kind of cool. Okay, so I'm going to put some gesso on this page here. And I've got some in my little paint container, and I'm going to dry off my brush. And so all we're going to do is just cover the whole page in gesso, because we want to make sure that we get everything glued down really nicely. So you just kind of brush it on there, cover the whole thing really good with that gesso. Just like so. I really like the idea of being able to use different papers. Now you want to be careful on some of these that you've printed off, because you want the gesso on there, but you don't want to rub all your color off of your page. Rubbing a little bit makes it just kind of look antique-ish or something, but you don't want it all to be. You can see over here on this side where it kind of bled a little bit. It's okay, it doesn't bother me. But okay, then we are going to let that dry. Once that dries, we are going to put some white paint on top. So you can grab out some white paint, something that you can use to spread it on. So you can either use a paintbrush, you can use an old gift card like this one, or you can use one of these scraper things. This came with some puzzle glue, I think. So I think I'm going to try to use this, though usually I use a paintbrush. So get your white paint ready. We're going to let this dry, and then we will be back. Okay, we are back. So my page is pretty much dry. I'm going to go ahead and cut off the extras. And one thing that you might want to grab is a baby wipe or some paper towels, maybe a damp paper towel, because you will be able to kind of wipe off that paint if you wind up getting too much in a certain area. So it's super helpful to have that there. I'll make a cute little pocket. All right, this was a little uneven here, so I'm going to cut this edge off too. You could also do this on construction paper if you wanted to, or cardstock to make it a little bit thicker. I will probably mat mine on cardstock. Okay. So I've got my baby wipes ready just in case. And I need a small brush, not that one, so that I can lay down some paint on my little card here. If you want to use just the paintbrush, the biggest thing is you don't want to put huge globs of paint. So you want to just have just a very little bit of paint, and you're just going to kind of scrape it on there. So if you were going to get paint using a paintbrush, I would come way over here at the edge and then kind of get it off a little bit. Like, you want just a little bit, and then you can put it on there. See how it just kind of barely scrapes on there? That's what you want. You want that kind of look. You don't want it getting covering up the whole thing. You want to be able to see through. So if you get too much, like with this, you can kind of scrape it like that, and it spreads it out really good. Or you can take that baby wipe and kind of go over it lightly and use that instead. So I'm going to use this, and I'm just going to kind of put some all along the edge here. This also helps you kind of limit how much you're getting on there. And then you can just kind of scrape it down like that. And it just gives these kind of cool effects when you use something like this rather than just a brush. So you can dab it in like 2 different places. Like, you can just kind of play around with what you're gonna do. And then you can just kind of pull across any direction. It just kind of helps you get to figure out exactly where you want it and what you want it to look like. And so if you don't want it to go down into this triangle, you can just kind of do it like that. So you're just going to put these kind of little places all over. You do want your page mostly covered with this, but you can see through it very well, but you want to have some of that white, whoops, kind of covering the majority of your page. And the more like you don't worry about it and don't stress about it, the cooler it will look, which I'm going to be honest is super hard for me. Because like, I don't know, maybe some of you out there are like this, but I am both a creative and very analytical at the same time. And it makes some of the creative things really hard because you need to not be analytical. Like you just need to let go and just kind of let things happen. And I am not good with that at all. Like it is very, very, very hard for me. And so doing something like this sometimes is a bit of a struggle, but I have found that it's actually really good for me. And so I try to continue to do these types of things so that I can build so that I can build those creative skills and kind of let that brain just kind of take a break back there and not take a break. I guess take a break's not the right word, but I guess the analytical side does need to kind of take a break. Take a back seat, I guess. And then you can just kind of lightly, rather than like super scraping. Let's see if I can. Get some darker white spots on there to go along with those. And you could even do a little bit of both. You know, the paintbrush and the... So that you're not winding up with like all square patches. I don't want to wind up with all square patches. If that makes sense. You could do something. I saw a lady the other day doing this beautiful page, and she was using all different kinds of things to get texture. So if you wanted like texture within this paint, you could put some paint down and then run a fork through it. Like she was using a fork. I was like, oh, this is super cool. Like I could never do this. Oh, my finger's stuck. So then you kind of just keep doing this until you feel like your page is done. I don't know. That's where that analytical brain has got to take a back seat. That logic thinking, which is, ooh, that one looks kind of cool. Some of these places are neat because the paper was still a little wet, and so it was a little bit warped. And so then you want, whoa, that's too much. Then you want to kind of wind up with these cool edges, which is kind of cool. I don't know when I'm going to be done here. It's kind of fun and relaxing, honestly. You could also use a different color. If you didn't want to use white, you could use any color that you wanted to. You know, whatever would kind of bring out the cool colors of your page. So then you're going to let this dry, and once it gets dry, you can use it for whatever you want to. So maybe you want it for a scrapbooking page and you want to put images on it. So that's what we did. We put some pictures on it of some of the ladies who were at the Bible journaling conference with me. I'm just gonna see if I can find the page real quick, but I'm not really sure where it's at in my Bible. Oh wait, here it is. I found it. So you can see here without looking at my people, you can see the white background and all the different washi tapes that I used, and then how we took images here and added to that. So you could create a whole Bible page with this, where this could be a page in a journal just like this, or you can turn it into journaling cards like we're going to do. You could also turn it into, like I said, it can be a background for a card for somebody if you wanted to do that. So it's just an idea of some different things that you can do with those scrap papers that you have left. So you don't need a whole lot of supplies, just some gesso and paint really is all you need, and those scrap pieces of paper. And then you can just make something really fun that you can use in a bunch of different ways. Like this one page could do multiple things. So yeah, it's kind of fun and kind of relaxing. You can take some time and put on some music while you create your page, or put on your Bible app or anything like that, and just kind of spend some time with God and create and kind of get out of your head for a few minutes and just kind of relax. I always find these things to be really rejuvenating for me, and to help me face the rest of my day, you know, in that peace and joy that we get from spending time with the Father. And then if you're creating them for cards for somebody, then you're giving, and that's always really, really nice. So if you created one of these with me, we are going to be using it this weekend in our Bible journaling art that we are going to be doing in our Bible journaling for complete beginners. So create you a page. We're going to cut this one because it can't be this big, and put it in a little pocket. So I hope you'll join me for that. If you liked the video, comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts were. Well, even if you didn't, you can let me know what your thoughts were. That's fine. And I hope that you had fun and enjoyed this project, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.